Have you ever looked at a relationship in your life, maybe your marriage, your friendship, even your relationship with your children, and quietly wondered, why does this feel harder now than it used to? Not because you don't care. Not because you've stopped loving. But because something has shifted. The patience isn't always there. The words don't come out the way you mean them. And sometimes, even after all these years, you still feel misunderstood. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. In this stage of life, relationships can feel more delicate, not less. You would think that with age comes ease, but often it comes with deeper emotions, more memories, and sometimes more distance. But here's the beautiful truth. It's never too late to bring warmth back into your relationships. It's never too late to rebuild closeness, to feel seen again, to feel connected again. And today, I want to share something deeply meaningful with you, something simple yet powerful. 6 godly principles, timeless truths that can gently transform the way you connect with the people in your life. Whether it's your husband, your sister, your best friend, or even yourself. These are not complicated rules. They are quiet practices. And when you begin to live them, something begins to soften, something begins to heal. Let's begin with the first one. It's something we often overlook because it feels so ordinary, but it holds incredible power. Physical kindness. Now, when we hear that phrase, we might think of big gestures, buying gifts, doing something grand, making a big effort. But that's not what this is about. Physical kindness is found in the smallest actions. It's the way you place your hand gently on your husband's shoulder as you walk past him. It's the way you bring your friend a cup of tea without being asked. It's the way you help your daughter with something simple, even when you're tired. These little moments may seem small, but they carry a message. I see you. I care about you. You matter to me. And the beautiful thing is, these actions don't require energy as much as they require intention. Sometimes, especially as we get older, we start to withdraw physically. We move a little slower. We do a little less. And without realizing it, our relationships can begin to feel distant. But even a small act, a gentle touch, a helping hand, a warm presence, can rebuild that closeness. I once heard a woman say, after 45 years of marriage, we don't say much anymore, but when he brings me my sweater without asking, I feel loved. That's physical kindness. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. And when you begin to practice this, something subtle happens. The other person begins to soften too. They begin to respond, not because you ask them to, but because they feel it. Now, as important as our actions are, there's something just as powerful, sometimes even more powerful. The words we speak. Kind words. Have you noticed how a single sentence can change your entire day? Someone says, "You look beautiful today," and suddenly your heart lifts. Or someone says something sharp, even unintentionally, and it stays with you for hours. Words matter. More than we realize. And in long-term relationships, especially, we sometimes forget how important they are. We stop saying, "Thank you." We stop saying, "I appreciate you." We assume the other person already knows how we feel. But knowing and hearing are not the same. Kind words are like nourishment for the heart. They don't have to be poetic. They don't have to be perfect. They just have to be sincere. You might say to your husband, "I'm really grateful for everything you've done for our family." Or to your friend, "Talking to you always makes me feel better." Or even something as simple as, "I'm glad you're here." These words create warmth. They create safety. They remind the other person that they are valued. And here's something many people don't realize. As we age, we become more sensitive to tone, to emotion, to meaning. A harsh word can feel heavier than it used to. And a kind word can feel like a gift. But kind words are not only about what we say. They are also about what we choose not to say. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is to pause before speaking. To ask yourself, will this bring peace, or will it bring hurt? Because once words are spoken, they cannot be taken back. And yet, when we choose kindness, again and again, we begin to create a different atmosphere in our relationships. One where people feel safe. One where people feel heard. One where love can quietly grow. And if you think about it, isn't that what we all want? To feel safe with someone. To feel understood. To feel at home in someone's presence. Now, as we continue, there is something even deeper than our actions, deeper than our words. Because before anything is done, before anything is said, it all begins in one place. Our thoughts. And that is where we're going next. And that is where everything quietly begins, in the space no one else can see. Kind thoughts. Now this one is different. Because no one applauds you for it. No one thanks you for it. There's no visible proof. And yet, it shapes everything that follows. Have you ever noticed how your thoughts about someone can change the way you treat them, even if you don't say a word? If you're holding on to frustration, even silently, your tone shifts. Your patience shortens. Your body language becomes distant. But when your thoughts are gentle, when you choose to see the good in someone, everything changes. Your voice softens. Your reactions slow down. Your heart opens, even just a little more. And the other person feels it. Even if they can't explain it, they feel it. You see, one of the most powerful things we can do in any relationship is to give someone the benefit of the doubt. Instead of thinking, why are they always like this? We pause and gently ask ourselves, maybe they're tired. Maybe they're struggling. Maybe they didn't mean it that way. That small shift can change everything. Because when we assume the worst, we build walls. But when we choose understanding, we build bridges. And this becomes especially important later in life. Because by this stage, we all carry something. Old disappointments. Unspoken hurts. Moments we wish had gone differently. And if we're not careful, those memories can begin to color the way we see the people around us. We may start expecting less. Or protecting ourselves more. Or quietly pulling away. But kind thoughts, they interrupt that pattern. They remind us that people are not perfect. That we are not perfect. And that love was never meant to be built on perfection, but on grace. Sometimes, kindness in your thoughts looks like choosing not to revisit an old argument. Sometimes, it means letting go of the need to be right. Sometimes, it means praying quietly for someone, even when they've hurt you. That's not weakness. That's strength. Because it takes strength to soften your heart, when it would be easier to harden it. And when you begin to practice this, not just once, but consistently, something beautiful starts to happen. You feel lighter. You feel less burdened by resentment. And your relationships begin to feel less heavy, too. Now, from that place of kindness in your actions, your words, and your thoughts, something else naturally begins to grow. A willingness to give. Not out of obligation. Not out of expectation. But from the heart. Generosity and sharing. And this doesn't mean giving away everything you have. It doesn't mean exhausting yourself for others. It simply means opening your heart enough to share what you can. Sometimes it's something physical. You cook a meal and invite someone to join you. You share something you found that reminded you of them. You offer help, even in a small way. But often, the most meaningful sharing isn't about things. It's about experiences. It's saying, "I thought of you today." It's telling a story from your past and inviting someone into your world. It's laughing together over something simple. There's something deeply human about sharing. It reminds us that we are not alone. And in long relationships, especially marriages or lifelong friendships, it's easy to fall into routines where sharing slowly fades. You live in the same house, but stop sharing your thoughts. You see each other every day, but stop sharing your feelings. You exist side by side, but feel miles apart. And that's where this principle becomes so important. Because sharing reconnects. It creates little moments of closeness that build over time. Even something as simple as saying, "I saw something today that made me think of you," can bring warmth back into a relationship that feels distant. And here's something beautiful about generosity. When you give freely, without keeping score, you create a sense of peace. There's no tension, no silent expectations, no hidden resentment. Just a quiet joy in giving. And often, that spirit becomes contagious. The other person begins to give, too. Not because they feel they have to, but because they want to. And suddenly, the relationship feels lighter, more open, more alive. But of course, for any relationship to truly feel safe, to truly feel secure, there must be something even deeper holding it together. Something that doesn't change with moods, or circumstances, or time. And that is what we're going to gently step into next. And that deeper foundation is something we all long for, whether we say it out loud or not. It's trust. It's the quiet knowing that the person beside you is steady, honest, safe to lean on. And that kind of trust doesn't just happen over time. It's built, slowly and gently, through the way we choose to live each day. Living with integrity. Now, this word can sound a little formal, but what it really means is very simple. It means being the same person, in private and in public. It means your actions match your values. It means people can rely on you, not just when things are easy, but when they're hard. In relationships, especially long-term ones, integrity becomes everything. Because over the years, love changes. It's not always the excitement of the early days. It becomes quieter, deeper, more rooted. And what holds it together is not just emotion. It's trust. It's knowing that your partner will be honest with you, that they won't hide things, that they won't betray your confidence, that they will choose you again and again. And this goes both ways. It's about the promises we keep, even the small ones. It's about saying, "I'll call you," and actually calling. It's about being truthful, even when it's uncomfortable. It's about staying loyal, not just in actions, but in heart. Because sometimes, disconnection doesn't come from big betrayals. It comes from small cracks. Little moments where trust is weakened. A half-truth. A broken promise. A pattern of not following through. And over time, those small cracks can create distance. But the beautiful thing is, integrity can rebuild what was weakened. Every time you choose honesty, you strengthen the bond. Every time you choose faithfulness, you deepen the connection. Every time you choose to do what is right, even when no one is watching, you create safety in the relationship. And safety is what allows love to grow in its later years. Because at this stage in life, we don't just want excitement. We want peace. We want to feel calm in someone's presence. We want to feel secure, not uncertain. We want to feel that we can finally rest our hearts. And integrity gives that gift. Now, when you combine everything we've talked about so far, the kindness in your actions, the gentleness in your words, the compassion in your thoughts, the openness in your giving, and the steadiness of your character, something remarkable begins to take shape. A relationship that feels grounded. But there's one final piece, one quiet truth that brings everything together. And that is having a shared purpose. Because no matter how kind, how generous, how loving two people are, if they are moving in completely different directions, something will always feel off. You don't have to agree on everything. You don't have to be the same. But there needs to be something that connects your path. Something that says, we're walking this journey together. And this becomes especially meaningful later in life. Because the pace slows down. The noise of the world fades a little. And we begin to ask deeper questions. What are we living for now? What matters most at this stage? What kind of life do we want to create together? A shared purpose doesn't have to be grand. It might be as simple as wanting a peaceful home, or spending meaningful time with family, or growing in faith together, or supporting each other through the seasons ahead. It could be sitting together in the morning with a quiet cup of coffee, saying a prayer, sharing a moment of gratitude. It could be choosing kindness as a way of life. What matters is not how big the purpose is. What matters is that it is shared. Because when two people are moving toward the same kind of life, there is less conflict. There is more understanding, more patience, more unity. And when challenges come, and they always do, you face them side by side, instead of pulling apart. You become a team. And isn't that what we all want, deep down? Not just someone to live with, but someone to walk with. Someone who understands the direction of your heart. Now, if you take a gentle step back and look at everything we've talked about, you'll begin to see a pattern. Kindness in what you do. Kindness in what you say. Kindness in what you think. A willingness to give. A commitment to honesty. And a shared sense of direction. These are not complicated things. They don't require perfection. They simply require intention. Small, quiet choices, made day after day. And over time, those choices create something strong. Something lasting. Something deeply comforting. Because the truth is, every relationship goes through difficult seasons. There will be misunderstandings. There will be moments of distance. There will be times when it feels easier to pull away than to lean in. But real relationships, the ones that last, are not the ones without problems. They are the ones where two people keep choosing each other, even when it's not easy. So if there's a relationship in your life that feels a little strained right now, or a little distant, don't lose heart. You don't have to fix everything overnight. You can start small. A kind action, a gentle word, a softer thought, and let that be enough for today. Because even the smallest shift can begin to open a door. And as you continue walking through that door, step by step, you may find something waiting for you on the other side. A renewed sense of connection, a deeper peace, a quiet kind of happiness that feels steady and real. If this message spoke to your heart, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts or your experiences in the comments. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if you found comfort or encouragement here, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel Elderly Faith Journey. There's so much more we can explore together. Because no matter your age, no matter your past, it is never too late to experience love that feels gentle, meaningful, and true. Here's to the relationships that stay, that grow, and that continue to warm our hearts, even in the quiet seasons of life.